You were lied to. Not directly, not maliciously, but enough to keep you running in circles. Work harder, stay consistent, grind now, win later. Sounds noble, right? So you did it. You woke up early, stayed up late, pushed when you were tired, kept going when it sucked, and still, nothing changed. That's the part nobody talks about, because hard work feels like progress. It looks like progress. It even hurts like progress. But pain isn't proof. Here's a truth most people never realize. Hard work is addictive. It gives you a sense of control in a game you don't actually understand. So you double down. More hours, more effort, more sacrifice. But what if the problem isn't that you're not working hard enough? What if the problem is that your hard work is keeping you exactly where you are? Think about that. Because some of the most exhausted people you know are also the ones going nowhere. And deep down, you already feel it, don't you? That quiet voice whispering, "This isn't working." So why can't you stop? Drop a comment. What's one thing you've been grinding at that still hasn't paid off? There's a part of this nobody warned you about. Because if they did, you'd stop playing the game entirely. You were taught a formula. Simple, clean, comforting. Work hard leads to get results. But reality doesn't follow formulas. It follows systems. And the system you've been trusting was never built for you to win. It was built to keep you busy. Think about it. If hard work alone actually guaranteed success, would millions of people still be stuck, burning out, questioning themselves in the dark at 2 a.m.? No. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You're not failing the system. The system is failing you. Because it rewards visibility over effort, leverage over labor, strategy over sacrifice. But nobody teaches that part early, because obedient workers don't ask dangerous questions. And you've been obedient, disciplined, consistent, exactly what they told you to be. And that's why you feel trapped, because you did everything right inside a game that was rigged from the start. So now the real question is, who benefits from you believing that hard work is enough? And if you're ready to see what they don't teach, hit like and subscribe, because the next part changes everything. You're not tired because you're weak. You're tired because none of it is paying off. That's the part that breaks people. Not the work, not the long hours, not even the sacrifices. It's the silence. You give everything and nothing answers back. No recognition, no momentum, no sign that you're any closer than you were yesterday. Just effort, repeated, daily, relentless. You thought hard work would make you visible. Instead, it made you invisible. Because when everyone is grinding, no one stands out. And here's where it gets dangerous. Your brain starts making it personal. If it's not working, it must be me. I need to push harder. I need to be better. So you do. You cut sleep. You isolate. You double down on a strategy that's already failing you. That's not discipline. That's conditioning. You've been trained to believe that more effort fixes bad direction. But effort without leverage, without timing, without awareness, it doesn't just slow you down, it buries you. And the worst part, the longer you stay stuck, the harder it is to admit you're stuck. Because now your identity is tied to the grind. So you keep going. Not because it's working, but because stopping would mean facing the truth. And that truth, you've been running hard on a path that leads nowhere. Most of what you believe about success sounds good, but falls apart under pressure. Hard work beats talent until talent understands leverage. Consistency is everything until you're consistently moving in the wrong direction. Never quit, even when what you're doing is quietly destroying your future. See the pattern? These aren't lies, they're half-truths. And half-truths are dangerous because they feel like wisdom. They keep you locked in, grinding, repeating, hoping. While the people actually winning, they're not just working harder, they're choosing better games, better environments, better timing. That's the part no motivational quote ever tells you, because it's uncomfortable. It forces you to admit something most people avoid. You can do everything right and still lose. Not because you're incapable, but because you were given rules for a game that doesn't exist. Psychologically, your brain craves simple formulas. If I do X, I'll get Y. It's clean, predictable, safe. But reality isn't safe. It's chaotic, biased, unfair. And if you keep following simple rules in a complex world, you don't just lose, you never even realize why you're losing. So you blame yourself, push harder, dig deeper into the same hole. That's how people waste years, not from laziness, but from believing the wrong things with absolute certainty. And the most dangerous belief of all, that effort alone makes you worthy of success. It doesn't. Here's the truth you don't want to hear. Hard work is cheap. Anyone can suffer. Anyone can stay busy. Anyone can exhaust themselves chasing something that was never meant to pay off. That's not rare. What's rare is being seen, being positioned, being placed where your effort actually multiplies instead of disappears. Because success was never a reward for effort. It's a reward for leverage. And leverage doesn't care how hard you try. It cares about where you stand, who sees you, what you're attached to, and when you decide to move. Two people can work the same hours, same intensity, same discipline. One stays invisible, the other explodes. Not because they're better, but because they're aligned with something bigger than their own effort. That's the part that stinks. Because it means your struggle, your sacrifices, your late nights might have been happening in the wrong place all along. Psychologically, you are trained to equate effort with control. If I work harder, I'll force the outcome. But outcomes don't bend to effort. They bend to structure, to systems, to positioning, to decisions you make before the work even starts. And if you ignore that, you can spend years climbing, only to realize the ladder was leaning against the wrong wall. So let me ask you something. If effort isn't the deciding factor, then what is? This is the part where it gets uncomfortable. Because now it's not just about working harder, it's about admitting you might have been wrong. And that hits different. You built your identity on this, the grind, the discipline, the sacrifice. That's who you are. So if that's not the answer, then what does that make all those years? Wasted? See, your brain hates that question. It will fight to protect the story you've been telling yourself because that story kept you going. If I just push a little more, if I just stay consistent. Hope is powerful, but it can also trap you because letting go of that belief, it feels like failure. It feels like everything you've done didn't matter. So you resist. You cling tighter to the grind, even when it's clearly not working. That's not logic. That's survival. Psychologically, it's called sunk cost. The more you invest, the harder it becomes to walk away, even when walking away is the only move that makes sense. And now you're stuck in between, not fully believing the old rules, but not ready to let them die either. That tension, that confusion, that quiet frustration you can't explain, that's the moment most people turn back. They choose comfort over truth. They go back to grinding because at least it's familiar. So what are you going to do? Keep believing what feels good or face what's real? Here's the moment everything changes. Because this isn't about doing more. It's about thinking differently. All your effort, every late night, every skipped weekend, every drop of sweat doesn't matter if it's pointed in the wrong direction. Working harder is the easy lie. Thinking smarter is the uncomfortable truth. Leverage, timing, positioning. These aren't just buzzwords. They're the weapons the world rewards. And the people who actually win, they've stopped worshiping effort. They've started mastering the game. It's not about burning out. It's about showing up where it counts, playing the moves that multiply. That's the shift most people never make because it forces them to see how much they've been wasting. But here's the thing. Once you start thinking differently, the path that used to crush you suddenly becomes the path that lifts you. So the question is simple. Are you ready to stop grinding blindly and start moving strategically? Stop treating effort like it's a currency, because it isn't. Hours don't guarantee results. Sweat doesn't guarantee visibility. Sacrifice doesn't guarantee progress. The people who actually rise, they don't grind blindly. They move where it counts. They leverage attention, timing, and position like weapons. Think about it. Two people, same skill, same work ethic. One burns out in obscurity. The other accelerates while barely breaking a sweat. The difference isn't effort, it's strategy. It's playing the right game in the right place at the right time. Psychologically, humans overvalue visible work. We equate motion with progress, and that illusion keeps millions stuck. So here's the hard part. You have to stop believing that doing more is enough. You have to start asking, where does my move actually matter? That's the framework. Not harder work, smarter placement, calculated visibility, leverage over labor. And the moment you start thinking like that, everything else changes. Here's the last thing you need to hear. If you keep doing exactly what you've been doing, you'll wake up 5, 10, 15 years from now, and everything will look the same. Same struggle, same exhaustion, same silence. The world doesn't owe you results. It doesn't care how hard you try. It only rewards what actually moves the needle. And the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to start moving in the right direction. Psychologically, your brain will trick you. It will normalize the grind. It will convince you that struggle equals growth. But here's the cold truth. Struggle without strategy is pain without progress. So ask yourself, are you ready to keep running in place? Or are you ready to stop pretending that effort alone is enough? Here's the final truth you need to feel. Hard work isn't the enemy. Blind hard work is. You've been told effort equals results. You've been trained to grind, to push, to sacrifice, without asking if the path even matters. And that's why so many burn out invisible, stuck in a loop that feels noble but delivers nothing. The reality? Effort without direction is wasted energy. Discipline without strategy is a cage. So if you want different results, you don't need to work harder. You need to see clearer, move smarter, play where it actually counts. Remember this, the grind is seductive because it feels productive. But the only thing that actually moves you forward is awareness. Awareness, positioning, leverage. Everything else, noise. Like and subscribe because this is the last push before you start moving for real.